Chapter 13. Sandra Bean saw it first. She was on duty, scanning space in all directions, but paying particular attention to what lay ahead, an instruction she had followed for days, now a routine which had become a habit. "Paul, there's something odd." "What is it?" He operated his controls and looked at the big screen. The familiar glitter of stars filled it with distant beauty. "Where?" "I'm getting a high mass reading from a point 2 degrees left, 1 degree up. Nothing solid visible." Morrow adjusted his screen, heightening the amplification. Sight lines moved to center on the designated position, steadied as he locked the scanner. "Nothing," he said after a moment. "Just a patch of darkness which—" He broke off, hitting a button. "Commander, I think we've found it." Koenig came on the run to stand behind Morrow as he looked at the screen. "Where?" "There, at the center of the sight lines. See? Just a patch of darkness. But watch the stars at the edges." They were moving in, as if to be swallowed, but no, that was an illusion. They were occluded by something which was growing steadily larger with the passing of each second. Larger because of nearing proximity. A strange darkness which showed as a clearly defined disk edged with distant stars. "Distance? As far as I can tell, sir, about 5 days at our present rate of progress." A guess, and their progress would not remain constant. The nearer they got, the faster they would travel, drawn by the incredible gravity of the black sun, or the black hole. As yet, it was impossible to be certain exactly which it was. It could even be a wandering planet of the size of Jupiter, a frozen ball of lifeless matter. "Sandra, maintain a check on selected stars. Read angles every hour." The differences would be minute. Parallax measurement required a long baseline, but the computer could determine the differentials and provide some kind of an answer. At least they would know if their velocity had increased, and from that determine the approximate mass. Koenig lifted his comlock. "Carter, get an eagle on the pad. Who is the duty pilot? Ryan? Tell him to take things easy. Orders will be relayed." "Tomorrow," he said, "take him far to one side of the point, Paul. I want an angle for cross-reference. Full sensor scan. He's not to take any chances." The eagle lifted, vanished into the sky, the pilot reporting, his face cheerful on the monitor screen. "Condition green, all systems go. And moving at a 30-degree angle from base to point." "Velocity?" "Maximum. I'm in a hurry to get this over with." Ryan smiled, winking from the screen. A favorite among the girls, he had an easy, smiling manner and a gift of humor which made him welcome company. Morrow said, "Keep your mind on the job, Mike. It's a milk run. Still, it breaks the monotony." One boredom replaced by another. The confines of the command module for that of the base, but any action to a man of his temperament was better than none. As the hours passed, he settled deeper into his chair, thinking, remembering. A girl with hair like spun silk, another with a mane of fire, a third with a figure like a dream. Girls, wonderful, all of them. He snapped alert to the chime of a bell. He had travelled faster than he'd thought, moved too far from his flight path. The mysterious darkness lay to his right, no, to his front, and he frowned. "Alpha, Ryan reporting. No sensor readings." Back at the base, Morrow said sharply, "None at all?" "Nothing," Ryan was positive. "The board's dead. All I'm reading is vacuum." "Position?" "Heading direct." "What? Your orders were followed. I must have veered. I'm correcting now." A moment, and then Ryan said, a little unsteadily, "No response. Systems read go, but the controls do not respond." Morrow stared at the screen, checked the monitors, and frowned. Ryan was wrong. The controls were working, but the ship was maintaining its position and rapidly gaining velocity. Standing behind him, watching as he had watched all through the flight, Koenig said, "Take over, Paul. Use slave control." "Right, sir." "Try to pull to one side. Give it all it's got." Stepping to the monitor screen, he said to the pilot, "Ryan, Koenig here. Keep your hands away from the controls. Do you understand? Don't touch a thing." "Understood, Commander." Ryan looked annoyed. "Do you think I'm suffering from hallucinations, then? I can handle this crate with my eyes shut." "Just do as I say." Koenig glanced at Morrow, saw the negative shake of the head. "You're trapped in a gravity well, Ryan. The only chance now is to run into it, build velocity, and hope to break loose." "Head into that? We'll get you out if we can. You got me into it." "No." Koenig was sharp. "You were in control. You should have been more careful. Now just sit there and stay calm." Easy advice to give, hard to take, and he shouldn't have reminded the man that it was his own fault. It was, but this was not the time to berate him. "Velocity mounting, Commander." Morrow was tense at the controls. "I'm trying to bring him up." He sucked in his breath as the screen flickered, the dark area growing, an ebon pit, swelling to blank out the circle of stars. "Commander, I can't manage to—" The screen went blank. "Ryan, answer me." The speakers remained silent. "This is crazy." Morrow spun in his chair. "I had full contact and everything was green. Then, all at once, nothing. Commander, what the hell is that thing?" "A black hole." "What?" Koenig shook his head, turning from the screen, his face bleak as he left the control area. The ship hadn't died, and Ryan could still, even now, be living. But they would never know it. Nothing could reach them from where he was. Light, radio, electronic impulses, all were held imprisoned in the gravity well into which the ship had driven. The pit from which it could never escape. "So, it's a black hole," said Bergman. "No doubt about it, John." "None." "How is the shield progressing?" "Better than could be expected. Anderson is working wonders. See?" Bergman gestured to the model resting on the bench in his laboratory. "We've set a ring of 7 towers around the base, and they should provide a complete screen." "7," said Helena. She had joined them. A lucky number. "There's nothing esoteric about it," he said a little shortly. 7 is the minimum we can get away with according to the computer. And that's about all we have components for. We could have squeezed 8, but," he glanced at Koenig, "some of the units were spoken for. Anyway, 7 should be enough. The power drain is the thing which worries me. It'll take every erg we can produce." "How long before testing?" "A few hours." Bergman picked up a schematic, compared it to a circuit diagram. "Before that, though, I have to reroute some of the circuits. Why don't you children go and entertain yourselves while I get on with the job?" "Entertain?" "Sleep, then. You look all in, John. Helena, tell him that flesh and blood isn't made of iron. A man needs to rest and dream if he's to stay in good condition." Pausing, he added meaningfully, "Women, too. You can't do it all alone, you know." A fact Koenig knew too well. He slumped at the desk as Bergman left, palming his eyes, conscious of his fatigue. He had hardly slept at all since Ryan had gone. Hadn't rested, aside from the times when he'd snatched a little food. For hours, days, he had worked to get the shield built, seeing to it that rumours did not get out of hand, explaining at all times to keep morale high and the base on an operational level. There had been failures. One woman had gone mad. Another had slashed her wrists and died before aid could save her. A man had gone berserk, beating his hands and head against a wall, calming to look with childlike eyes as Matthias attended him. The man, with luck, would recover. The woman would not. Helena said, "John, have you ever seen this?" She was holding the old plan of a house which Bergman had designed. Koenig dropped his hands and looked at it. "No." "Victor's?" "Yes, he told me about it. Did you know that once he intended to get married?" "Yes." "And you? Did anyone ever mean that much to you?" "Once." He shook his head as if to clear it from an unpleasant memory. "A girl. Young, beautiful, rich. The old story. I'd rather not talk about it." She recognized the barrier and accepted it, knowing that his scars, though unseen, ran deep. Knowing, too, the probable cause. A woman herself, she had no illusions as to the potential cruelty of her sex. Changing the subject, she said, "How are you going to test the shield?" "The hard way." Koenig met her eyes, smiling. "It'll be a public demonstration. As soon as Victor is ready, we'll begin. You can watch from main mission." She hadn't guessed what they intended. Carter had taken up an Eagle, one fitted with the atomic missiles. It rose high as Koenig and Bergman, suited, left the base to stand beside one of the towers. Bergman gave the order. "Establish the shield, Anderson, and watch those meters." "Will do, Professor." "You heard, Carter. Come in when ready. Shield operational as from now." It rose to cover the suited figures, the base, a coruscating shimmer of broken rainbows. Koenig looked at it, imagining the Eagle arrowing down, fire spitting from one of the tubes, nuclear flame blossoming from the impact point of the missile. He saw nothing but a dull glow which spread over a point on the shimmering screen, which clung to it for a moment, to fade and die, leaving it unbroken. "It worked!" Bergman's voice echoed his pleasure. "It worked, John! It worked!" Helena's voice came over the radios, sharp with brittle anger. "You pair of fools! What if the shield had failed?" "Then we'd have had a small problem." Koenig was deliberately casual. "And we'd have had to try something else." The casualness was deliberate. She had missed the point of the demonstration, the importance of convincing everyone of his utter trust in the shield. As it died, he looked up into the sky. The glowing brilliance of the stars was blotched now by the disk of darkness at which they were headed. A gaping maw which would swallow the entire moon, the base, every soul it contained. Koenig shivered and hurried after Bergman into the familiar surroundings of Alpha.